Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by two people who apologize profusely for any discomfort caused by last week's accent swap and vow to never do it again unless we hit the $50 a month mark.
Yes, and that was so bad. You did fine. You were wonderful.
I hated every fucking second, and I am not ashamed to admit it.
Listen, again, you did really good. You did good. On the other hand, did not. But that's okay. Like, that's not my strong point. Like I said, whenever I talk about languages and games, I describe like the emote, the vibe. I don't, whatever.
Well, it was your idea.
It was my idea, and it worked. It was great. It was fun. People loved it.
No, it wasn't. It was not fun.
And not for us. It's not about us. It's about our viewers.
No. This whole endeavor is about us.
No.
We do put something out because we fucking want to. If people happen to want to listen to it, fantastic. They're welcome to.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, this is about us first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yep. That is the philosophy at which this started, and that is the way it's going to carry on.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Putting my undersized foot down.
Huh. What size is your foot? Is that a thing? Like, how are you guys
I have no idea in American.
Well, what is it in European?
UK, I'm 8.5. Europeans 42. And whatever the translation is.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Whatever the translation is into American.
My shoe size goes from like literally one size to another one completely depending on the shoe. Like,
yeah, but I mean that's everywhere. Different brands, different shoes, etc., etc. Let's put US shoe equivalent.
Find out. Drum roll.
I don't.
Please be bigger than a 7. I'll die laughing if you're a 7.
Okay, so let's have a look. US shoe, so for an 8.5, an 11.5 in America.
That's pretty normal. I'm a 7 in men's, and anywhere between an 8 and a 9 in women's. So not that matters. Unless people want to start buying us shoes, like absolutely, come buy us shoes.
I'll take some shoes.
Yeah,
I'm at the age now where I'll take slippers.
I'll take socks.
You give me a good pair of slippers, I'm a fucking happy man.
I love socks.
I don't need shoes because that means I've got to go outside with them. Slippers means I can stay inside.
You can wear shoes inside. Oh, that's one of those like culture things, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but I mean, I've got my slippers on, can't go out. Oh, what a shame.
If we're being absolutely fair, as much as this conversation is fun, I'm barefoot 9 times out of 10. Like, good luck getting anything on my feet.
I'm either wearing slippers or flip-flops. Except for when I'm actually going out and going to work and all that. Because that would look weird.
You know what's funny? Segue this into games. Whenever I'm doing character art for people, like, they're always wearing the same type of freaking shoes. Like, everyone wears the knee-high fantasy boots. Someone please commission me and have, like, some weird-ass footwear that isn't stereotypical. Because, like, I would love to draw a character with something other than boots. Like,
big fluffy Darth Vader slippers. Make a paladin with big fluffy slippers. There you go. You won't. There you go. That is your challenge.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Big fluffy slippers. You don't need to wear anything else.
Big fluffy and intimidating paladin slipper. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's intimidating. You see a paladin wearing full plate and wielding a broadsword, wearing fluffy slippers. You think that fucker's deranged.
Well, he's either deranged or one of two other things have happened. He either gives. He's reached that point of like, I give 0 fucks. I've lost my boots and I'm still going. He just picked up some poor person's slippers and kept going. Or he has reached the point where he gives 0 fucks about what people think about him and he's wearing bunny slippers to go like fight darkness. That's
either way works.
Either way, you don't mess around with paladin and fluffy slippers.
No, paladins and fluffy slippers. That's, by the way, episode title.
Right? Yeah,
that's a prime. I mean, what are we on? We are 5 minutes into the episode. We've already got a title.
Yeah, I can already feel this episode's gonna be a good one.
See what happens when we actually talk normally? We become productive. We become absolutely productive.
Listen, the best thing to come out of last week, I think, was like the fact that you can sound totally normal American. That threw me off. You sounded like you Americanized. I sounded like about 12 different people all going through different types of mental states. Mental?
I don't know. I appreciate the
Mental.
compliment, but I disagree. I've
Yeah.
heard it back as I was editing, and I sounded fucking tragic.
No, what's
honestly.
tragic is Couch's comment of a paladin that people think is a tabaxi, but it turns out to be a furry dressed paladin. That's tragic. We're
He's
not doing
speaking
furries.
words I don't understand.
What? Oh, yeah.
He's speaking ampersand words. Nobody gives a shit about that fucking system. Tabaxi Maya.
It's not even the system. Did you know, this is infuriating. So we're playing Void Runner right now. They have cat people art in the book.
Right.
The updated book, the released book, no cat people race.
Okay, you just say, here's my character. It's a cat.
I mean, you can, sure, but like,
And there you go.
it's just weird. It's like, if you're going to include something in a design, you'd think that there'd actually be like a structure for it.
I mean, but to be fair, like, Pathfinder is including races all the time. And heritages. It's including them. They came out with the originals, and then obviously they included catfolk. They've included Shoonies, which are like pug-like people, which everybody went fucking batshit insane about.
That's the thing, is that like those things they're not system like exclusive. You know, tabaxis are everywhere, which Couch actually just pointed out. But like with Level Up, one of the things I love about it is that like they have this Gazette newsletter that goes out every month where they just add races, add heritages, add classes. It's just like, someone made this, it's really cool, we're adding it officially. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, it's never ending.
Fair enough. I mean, it is good to have that sort of
free playability
interaction with the fans.
Yeah. It makes the system feel alive. It's not just like, here, we made it, bloop, it's done. Like, oh, you don't get anything else till we make another publication. It's kind of like, oh, this is like a living, breathing organism. I love that concept of just kind of like, alive.
It's alive.
Unlike me, man, I was up for 20 hours yesterday. Holy shit. I've finally gotten better on like 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish, and I was out cold. My alarm went off, I think, 6 times this morning, and I could not get out of bed. Finally, I was like, I have 10 minutes to get to my desk, like for training. I should probably get up.
To be honest, I've been a bit like that. I did a full shift yesterday, got home, and went, you know what? Today I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to relax. I'm going to maybe do some work on the show. And then when someone went, you know what? We're recording today. It's like, well, fuck me. So we recorded until about 11 something my time.
Late. It was 6-ish my time. So yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So
yeah.
11 something. And then obviously I'm up at 5. I've got to go to work. And I had like my 12 hours scheduled. And I went, yeah, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to finish at 3, go home, and do what I was meant to do yesterday, minus the gym.
I realized with age, you know, like little kids that get hungry and suddenly the world just implodes. Like they can't handle being hungry. That like went away through my teenage and young adult years, and I could go days and hours without eating, and I was fine. Something has happened, because the minute I hit my phase, like if I get hungry, it's not like I think I'm getting hungry. I have like, people have about 20 to 30 minutes from the time I say I'm hungry to get food in me, or else I turn into a raging bitch. And like, I don't try to do it. I'm literally like, oh, so like we played that long ass game, right? I had to drive about 40 minutes to my next long ass game. No food in the span of those like 8-9 hours. And I'm going, I show up, I barge into Coddle's house, like, what are we eating? He's like, I don't know, what do you want? That's not what I asked. Like, what are we eating? So I think I have to have game snacks. As dumb as that sounds, I have to have game snacks.
I mean, I need to cut down on my snacking. It's fucking tragic.
I think I'm okay. I'm being active enough and working enough that like I'm healthy and good things are happening to my clothing and my waistline. But I think I have to have game snacks. Like I can't go these 4-hour stretches without something being eaten.
So
other than Souls of my enemies.
Speaking about being active and game snacks, how was your gaming week?
It was good. I think we did. It was Sunday. Sunday was slammed. We did Inmates, which is Mutants and Masterminds, which was an amazing episode. That was so good. Seeing every single character invested and developed, and kind of all the players owned their own character that episode. There was nobody left behind. There's nobody going like, oh, I'm just here. Like, no, it was good. It was such a good episode. And then we played Void Runner, and that was so cool. We actually did Starship Battle. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really cool mechanics.
So
Did
does
not expect that to go well.
Void Runner have its own Starship combat mechanics, or was
I
that
don't.
something created for?
No, they have it. It is in their. It is in their book. It's about
Interesting.
shields and like. There's all sorts of mechanics that I was clueless to because I'm not the ship captain, but our ship captain, the player who's running that, he got a sheet for the ship and he was like keeping track of everything and then telling us, the players / characters, like, okay, do you have this proficiency? Which of course, like half of us don't, but then again, half of us do. Like I have starship weapons proficiency, so he's like, all right, you're on the guns. I'm like, okay, and it was really fun. It was so cool. It was so cool, but also this made me so stupid happy. Sometimes campaigns come to an end because of personalities, because of time frames. It just happens prematurely, right? And there's always that thought of like, okay, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it at some point. And that's happened a couple of times with our table because of multiple valid reasons. So we had a sci-fi game that was beautiful and it was wonderful and it gives me all the happy tingly feelings. And we had to put it away for very valid reasons. And we're playing the Void Runner last night and Connell is running the game and he starts dropping some like hint words and like things that are kind of making me go, wait a minute, that sounds like nah. But as he starts describing more and more of this warp station that we came across, the three of us that have played in that old campaign suddenly went, oh my god, we're playing like light years into the future of that universe. And all
cool.
of us were just like, holy shit, it was so cool. But that was strictly sci-fi, and obviously Void Runner is fantasy sci-fi, which is a beautiful blend. That's my gaming weekend, and now I'm like super pumped up, and all I want to do is draw spaceships and fantasy stuff.
Fair enough.
You know? What about your gaming weekend?
Okay, so the only thing other than obviously Inmates, which we can talk about in a minute, went back to Delta Green on Wednesday.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's what made Couch sad.
Oh, it's gonna get fucking worse.
Okay.
No,
that's
so
like the theme. That's like the theme of your. I think that's like the goal, like John's gaming goal. Break couch with Delta Green. Like that's kind of like eat breakfast, you know.
I like to create the atmosphere for the game, and Delta Green is a game that is stooped in atmosphere. It's fantastic. So the agents, they're investigating this murder. They've obviously realized that there's something fucked up going wrong, that there is a presence that seems to be watching them and seems to be controlling people. And towards the end of it, the end of the session, one of the players gets a message or gets a call from what they thought is their best friend back home, and it's their best friend's being kidnapped by someone in this town. And it's like, yeah, you're going to come along. Essentially, the operation goes from investigating a murder to a war zone. And we are just about to start the war zone section. And it is not going to be pretty. It's going to be gruesome. It's going to be rough. And I am fucking here for it. This is the operation that made me want to run Delta Green.
That's cool. I like when you get to revisit stuff like that.
Yeah. I saw this played by the Glass Cannon, and I went, that's the system for me, and I'm finally getting to run this, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
You're excited. Like that means a lot. You should be excited as a GM. If you're coming up on a game and you're like, I feel like you need to do a reality check, like
Pathfinder, which is basically me with Pathfinder.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Maps and fucking tokens. Fucking bullshit.
Or do that. Even if the game calls for it, I don't do it. That's because, like, as much as I am like, yes, rules and crunch, I'm also like, it's a game. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Like, end of story. Doesn't matter what.
Oh, yeah. And then obviously Inmates. Inmates was a fantastic. It was definitely, there was definitely an angle in the episode towards one character in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
But, the true hero did what true heroes do.
Yeah, separate the group, turn off his comms.
He's keeping you safe.
Yeah, no, that's not how teams work.
Well, teams are meant to take orders from their superiors.
Superiors are supposed to use the strengths of their teams, but I think okay.
Halo has an
Glory
attitude
hounds
problem.
Happen. It's okay. Glory hounds
Halo
happen.
has an attitude problem, and You know, it will be adjusted.
She's not supposed to be there.
You know, it'll be adjusted. It's fine.
I'm sure it will be.
You know, siren protocol.
Hey, listen, I said it last night. I'll say it again. She may have a kill switch, but at least she doesn't have a kill count. What are you up to? Like 3, I think? 4?
Yeah, you're on one yourself. You got a fucking kill count. What the fuck you on about?
Killed anybody?
Yes, you have.
I haven't killed anybody. Who did I kill?
In the petrol station, the guy that was dying, you put him out of his misery. You killed someone.
He was mentally gone. That's a completely different philosophical conversation if you want to have
it. Killed someone.
It is. You still have true hero under your name. Someone's a little full of themselves.
I know. And I left it. I left it on purpose.
Of course you did. I'm not even surprised.
So, I just want to kind of take a quick, brief sort of interjection here and just give a shout out to a couple of people. I want to shout out, first of all, to Emma from Tabletop Tailspinners Network, and also to Northwolf from Twisted Fate Productions, both of whom have recently celebrated birthdays. So happy birthday, guys. You make this whole community a better fucking place.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
And also, now back onto social media, I posted a question.
You did post a question. I'm very curious about this.
I posted a question. I got some answers. So the question I posted was basically, what is your most memorable character death? All right. Have you got any that you'd like to mention in particular?
I do, but I want to hear theirs first.
All right. Sounds good to me.
I'm far more intrigued about what people are saying out there about that.
Right. This one was submitted by Cats Have No Lord. It was a character in a Force and Destiny campaign. 2 of us made characters who had grown up on the streets together before becoming Jedi trainees. We were investigating a Sith laboratory that ended up having zombies in it. That friend and I got infected, and we were furiously searching the facility for an antidote. We opened a door where we thought it would and came face to face with the zombie horde. Without thinking, I tossed in a grenade and closed the door. It killed all the zombies, but also wrecked the room. My friend rolled really well for searching through and found a single vial of antidote. I wouldn't let him give it to me and resign myself to turning into a zombie, but I would try help them escape. When we got to the exit, a kind of Hydra monster was blocking it, and I knew what to do. Pulled out and armed 2 more grenades, ran up to get eaten, blew up from the inside and gave them a way to escape. Not sure I'll ever top the emotions of that session. There we go. That's, some people call it sacrifice. I'll call it being a martyr, but, you know.
You would know. No, that is sick. Zombies are always interesting to have. Like,
yeah, that is it. That is a good.
Yeah.
You know, that is a good death. I do need to actually try bring up my fucking Trello on the other thing, because obviously.
I'll say I have them up. I like the little one. I love the little one. By Maurer. We're going to go with Maurer.
I know which one you're talking about. I like this one as well.
It's literally 1 sentence. I failed a roll to defuse a bomb.
It says so much in so little context. It's like...
That's my favorite.
Defusing a bomb, failed a roll, that's it. That's all we need to know. I don't think we need any more details because it is pretty much covered.
Here's the thing though. So like the other one that I love is MJMCG. My character got eaten by another player character at the end of a session of The Witch is Dead, which is such a attention grabber in the first place, but it was a little bit of a letdown when he explains it. I was a spider, they were a cat. I can assure you that my fate was totally deserved. Should have left that out. Left it out. Like, just tell me that you got eaten by another player character. That's all I need to know. And I'm like, what?
Atlas digs cannibalism.
Dig cannibalism. It's intriguing. Actually, I'm scarred for life because of a book I read that I didn't realize that's where it was going. I'm like, oh my God, that's.
All right, so we've done that one. No, see, the thing is, I don't know which ones you've read now. Okay, so
pay attention, John.
I know. All right, so during lockdown, I had my first and so far only TPK as a DM. The party was nearing the end of the adventure, and we were grinding their way through the BBG dungeon, a reverse tower. In the prison at the top, they stumbled into a couple of large predators that were being kept there, defeated them, and left the carcasses in a very public space with guards who were sensitive to the smell of blood while setting up one of the cells to be a camp for a long rest.
Like shark guards?
Don't know. The guards on the next floor noticed the blood and ambushed the players while investigating the source. Through some good rolls and low resources, party members started going down until the healer cannot keep up and they got wiped. Some of my players still remember it fondly.
Players remember it fondly. Like, that's
Have you ever had a TPK?
not as a GM. That was actually one of the stories I was going to tell you. One of my favorite character deaths was a TPK planned by the TP. We, as a group, as a party, as a table, hated the game so much. And we tried so hard to just flat out tell the DMs, like, hey, man, like, seriously, we're going to keep going like this? He's like, yeah, you guys will love it. You guys will love it. 2-3 weeks in, we were messaging each other privately at the table, and the DMs, like, talking about the scenario. That it was one of those, like, we are getting ambushed. If we don't do the right thing, we're all going to die. And, like, we all as a party were like, I go do the thing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go with her. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go too. And he's like, you will all die if you do that. And we're like, it's what my character. Unfortunately, it was one of those games where, like, the concept was really good. The execution was so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I've had a TPK, but it's because the party instigated it. We're like, we're done.
I mean, I've had a TPK before. I've TPK'd a table. Yeah. But I will still maintain, and I will say this with every character death that I've had at a table. There was always a chance they'd survive. They never did. They made wrong decisions. They made wrong calls. That's on them. So in this one, we were playing Rise of the Rune Lords, and they were in a place called the Rune Forge, which is this deep, dark, multi-branch dungeon sort of thing. And in the central point, once they'd finished all these 7 sort of different areas, they had to go to the central point. They had a really tough fight, which, took a lot out of them. But then a dragon that they happened to leave alive followed them in.
That's so Odyssey. It's not even funny. Yeah. Like the dragon you left behind coming back to bite you in the ass, basically.
Yup. And it bit him. It fucked him up. So what I did is I basically found a way to resurrect, but it wasn't.
To be completely honest, I think the most impactful character deaths that I've experienced weren't my own. There were other characters that my character had gotten really close to. And, like, there's been some funny ones, if you can have funny character deaths. But, like...
Of course you can.
Yeah. But it was... every character death that we've had has been meaningful. It's been, like, story propelling... it's been really well, okay, not everyone. There was one we're not going to talk about, but I don't know, like, it's never been like, oh, my character's dead, like, woohoo. It's always been this, like, oh my god, like, we just lost someone, which has always been interesting. It's always been interesting to play out. I'm kind of, it
is a huge narrative drive, which is why I don't agree with this whole no character deaths at my table. No, fuck that, I'm not playing at that table. Yeah. If you sign up to play a game, unless the game specifically avoids character deaths, such as Tales from the Loop, Avatar, Legends, they don't have, which is fine. I'll play the system as is. But any other system, you come to a table of mine and character death is available.
And there are games that they take that out completely. Like, there's a bunch of GM-less games where, like, death is just not part of the thing. It's not a hit point. It's not a battle. There's no fighting. There's no combat. It's just, but at that point, you're telling stories, which I love. I absolutely love. But to me, that's not a game. There's no objective. There's no risk. There's no reward. And again, I love telling stories. I'm all for GM-less RP, but that is a GM-less RP. That's not a tabletop role-playing game.
No, I'm
Granted, I'm
inclined
not
to
really
agree.
Tabletop. I'm sitting here going tabletop, like, I don't remember the last time I was at a table, but, like, even my in-person table isn't, like, around a table. We're, like, up on sofas and floors and...
I mean, our Delta Green and Fabula Ultimate game, as we did start out round a table, but then we went, you know what, this chair's comfy. Yeah, you guys get comfy, let's play this fucking game. And so Connor
started out on a table.
He was in a Supernatural World War II game, and his character tackles the enemy occultist off a cliff while pulling the pin on his grenade. GM rolled the damage and my freaking character survived. Well, that's bullshit. Can you just narratively kind of go, look, I'll take the death?
1 second. He needs to let me know if the GM was someone I know, because if it is, then I know what happened, and that's not that surprising. But how does that happen? How does that happen? Like, I've seen people do bullshit rolls and die, and you're going, oh my god, how did you die from that? But to go, how did you survive that? I don't know, that seemed weird. Yeah, I figured it was Tanner. Okay. He said World War II game. I'm like, that sounds like a Tanner game.
Okay, we do have another one that is from
Yeah.
Squishy Mage 42 over
Epic
on
name.
Blue Sky. I played an avatar of the Rocker in Unknown Armies. In a big arc climatic session, Alistair had his throat torn out by basically demo dogs from Stranger Things. He bled out with blood spurts to the beat of the cowbell from Don't Fear the Reaper as the song was heard faintly on the wind. That sounds like my sort of game.
That sounds like your sort of game.
That sounds like that sort of batshit insanity. That's kind of why I play these games.
I like the insanity of it. I would never like stupid comedy growing up. Like a lot of my friends like, did you watch this movie? It's so funny. I'm like, it's not funny, it's stupid. But that being said, I love comedy. I like it when there's these insane moments in games. You're like, how the hell did we pull that off? And everyone's laughing and hooting and hollering. I just like it to be in theme with the game. Like, I like stories. I like stories. Don't ruin the story for me,
No, I mean, I grew up on stupid comedy. That has been my comedic foundation is the Leslie Nielsen movies back in the day. I would watch the shit out of them. I still do. I'm now introducing my son to them. Kind of going, this is Spaceball.
Yeah, I don't actually even think I've seen all of Spaceballs. I tried watching like Master of Disguise. That I didn't finish that. I tried watching. I can't focus. But to be completely fair, like I am wired incorrectly because I have a hard time watching sitcoms for the same reason. Where it's like if it is so similar to real life, I don't want to watch it. Like I live a full life. Like I don't want to watch someone else live their life. Throw me some fantasy, some sci-fi, some horror, things that I'm not going to encounter in my everyday life. I'm in for it. But so that's like okay, Galaxy Quest could be considered stupid funny. I love Galaxy Quest, but
Galaxy Quest is good. Galaxy Quest
it's good.
It's a good movie as well.
It's good. I enjoy that. I love it so much.
So Cal just pointed out that my Fabula Ultima character, he's every time he goes down, I'm just kind of there going, I want to do a sacrifice. I want to kill this fucking character. I want to do something cool, but we've not had a big moment yet. It's like, it's horse shit.
Good question though. Like, how many characters have you played where you're like, this is a sacrifice character? Like, they're gonna die at the end of this campaign. Do you go into it thinking that, or is that just kind of once you're in the game, you're going, oh, okay?
I'm not precious with characters. My characters, are built to die. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
That's why I will always. I won't necessarily do the stupidest option, but I will do the option that makes sense in the moment, regardless of how bad the outcome can be.
See, and that's my characters when I create them. Like, I make sure they all have kind of goals, life goals. Like, not like I'm gonna avenge my brother from the game. No, like fucking real life goals. Like, I have a character who is very motherly. She's this like spring goddess, the whole thing. She's Mutants Mastermind's character. She can't die in theory, but I know she's gonna. Like, she's that mother figure where she's like, I know there's a big bad coming in that universe, and I know she will go down protecting the kids. Like, she's gonna do it, and not like, oh, I'm gonna kill her off. I'm just going. She's the one that would do that. She's that sacrifice play of like, she'll buy all the other players 2 rounds of time if she can, And then there's other characters like, nah, man, they're gonna be too angry to go out.
I mean, like to kind of highlight my style of play is like what we did last night in Inmates.
Yeah.
In Inmates, it was a case of this guy had hostages attached to bombs that we thought at the time, and he was calling specifically for my character. So my character's thing was, I'm going to go in.
Yeah,
because
as you should have.
I go in there, I'm doing recon, you stay out here because if you do go in, you could kill people.
Yep. Yeah. And that thinkology is on point, except that like my character, on the other hand,
is a dick.
No. She actually put 2 and 2 together real fucking early. When that drone went off, all you guys did is touch it and it went off. She's like, this isn't he wants to talk to him. It's like there's very much so a second play being dealt. And she's like, he can't go in there. Like, it was a whole ordeal. Like, it's go watch the episode when it comes out. It's so fucking good.
Watch the episode. It is good. Should be out next Saturday. Yeah, a week on Saturday. So yeah, watch it. It is fantastic. We have such a good fucking laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the question that we asked this week. I shall think of something to put out tomorrow and see
Mm,
what responses
yeah,
we
I
get.
need to put some out too. I was putting out questions left, right, and sideways, and then with training, I just was like, I'm still here. I'm alive. I promise. I just gotta get the training. I have 2 more weeks of training, and then it's on the job training, and that's gonna be a completely different animal.
It's all right. I got you covered.
but-
Don't you worry.
Yeah, but right now it is literally like an entire day of staring at documents and memorizing Medicare, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so when you GM, what does your prep look like?
We've talked about this, but it depends on the session. So like I have my stats for any possible critters, creatures, bad guys. Okay, I have my stats figured out. But see, when I GM, like I have the world storyline figured out. That is happening no matter what the players are doing. So like I have my stats in advance. The storyline, I'm not having to wing it. If they decide to go left field and like, oh my gosh, we're gonna sail out to an island we've never been to and go the complete opposite direction that the campaign's going, and we're gonna go investigate this and this and this, go for it. Absolutely. I try not to put too much prep work into it. So prep work for me usually looks like getting my stats pulled together, getting some maps and items pulled together in case they decide to do something absolutely bonkers, which they always do, and going from there. But to be completely honest, like our last session that I GM'd stopped in the middle of battle. It's kind of funny because that battle is going to continue into this next session. I don't know if they're going to get out of combat, to be completely honest. They think they are. I'm not convinced they will. It depends on how they react to a couple of things. So for this upcoming session that I'm running, I already have everything prepped from last session. Even if they get out of combat, like their role playing, their decision of what they're going to do, where they're going to go, there's nothing to like. It's a live world, so like the stuff that's already there is already living. And that's a really horrible explanation, but like, yeah. So like, it's 50-50. My prep work is like, I know my world. I know what they're doing, like the place that they are living in. So I don't have to like plan out, oh, this place has this person and this is their demographic and person. No, like they'll figure that out if they get there. Like I don't need to prep that. So yeah, but it's half improv, half plan. I let them do what they want to do, but it's not sandbox, but it's not railroad. It's very much so like this is the story of the world. You guys figure out what the hell you're gonna do in it. So yeah.
So I mean, for me, the exact form it takes will change depending on the system.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all my system, everything I do, I prep on in Obsidian because hands down, it's the best thing you can use for these sort of games.
Mm-hmm.
But everything I do, every session, even every arc, I will do in a one sheet. It's a OneNote thing.
Yep. I actually used OneNote.
For example, a Pathfinder, I do basically the setup. I do different locations. I do NPCs. I do treasure. I do creatures and encounters. And I'd have all these things, and all they are reminders.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have the odd set piece as well. You know, the moment where you kind of become a bit more narrative and a bit more flavorful.
Yeah.
I'd have them ready. But other than that, that's it. It's all in one document. And that could last me 7 sessions.
Have you ever used OneNote?
I've tried using it, but Obsidian is
better. I would say I use OneNote because it's all right there, and I don't have to like flip through anything. And if like
the reason I use Obsidian is because it is modular, and it has a community that develop these little modules for it, which add to their functionality, and it has a massive tabletop role-playing game community.
Now, is that like a hardware app or is it an online app?
Hardware app.
So like if you have it on one laptop and not the other one, you're fucked if you're on the other one?
No, because you can always install it in like a cloud drive.
Okay, so it is like it's not fixed on your hardware.
It is installable, but you can install it on a shared drive. Okay. So that means that anywhere you access it, or you can do what I do. I pay a subscription and I host it on their servers.
Gotcha.
I host a copy on their servers, and every time I connect, it syncs up.
I'm not fancy enough to pay for someone to hold on to my notes. I'm not there yet in my GMing.
But it is great. I mean, it's got everything, especially if you're doing 5e. 5e's got a ton of support. It's got like initiative trackers. It's got dice rollers. It's got ways to calculate distances on maps. It is phenomenal in the sense that everybody has created their little part of it.
So
And
it's less of a note thing and more of like a toolkit. What it sounds like.
I mean, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of both, because the functionality of the application by default is a note taking. But then people kind of go, okay, so I want to bring in 5e stat blocks. I want to bring in Pathfinder 2 second edition stat block. And I started using it because it was the Realmworks community, because I was a big Realmworks fan, and then that folded.
Right.
So then the Realmworks community moved on to Obsidian, and I moved with them. But yeah, it is phenomenal, and I put everything in there.
Nice.
So for Blades in the Dark, my prep is essentially, okay, so what the score is, what the target is, complications, because you can actually add clocks into Obsidian natively without any sort of fuss whatsoever.
Okay, yeah. That's nifty. If I have to move my page to run my game, I don't want it. Like, I'm with you. Like, I like having everything on like one chunk. Like, I run off my phone most of the time, to be honest. Like, I'll format it on a laptop, but then I just whip my phone out and like, because I don't want to be staring at a screen or an iPod or flipping through a binder or, I didn't say iPod. iPad.
You said iPod. You said iPod.
Yeah, I don't want to be flipping through an iPod. Do those even exist still?
Not in that form. No, it's all.
No,
I think the iPod Touch is still. I think an iPod Touch is still a device on its own merits.
I thought that maybe the Nano still.
I don't think they discontinued. I think they discontinued the Nano and stuff like that. I don't believe they discontinued like the iPod Touch, as it were. I think that is still a thing.
Huh. Completely side tangent. Sorry, because I'm like, it's in your phone now. Like, with streaming services, you don't really need.
Oh no, the iPod is a discontinued series of portable media players.
There we go.
Well,
I had a Zune. I was a Zune girl. Those were so cool. But nobody else had them, so it didn't matter.
No, that was just like, yeah, they did not last.
No.
They did not last.
Portable MP3 players did not last in general. It was like the minute people realized, oh, MP3s are portable, it was like, oh, phones. Why aren't we doing that? Like that was like a blip of history for me. It was like,
I remember it got to a point where portable MP3 players were like $10. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I'm just gonna buy one, and it'd break and go, I'll buy another one.
Right? Gosh, man.
I remember those days.
Yeah, I was like, now you had to pay for like per text, like.
Yeah, the good old days. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick break here. I'm just going to give a shout out to our supporters this evening. So 13th Moon Games is a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA. Created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible, a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more, interested in joining the official Discord game, check them out on Instagram. And also, step into a universe where fandoms collide. Welcome to Crossing the Nerdverse, your ultimate portal into all things geeky and glorious. Whether you're into comics, gaming, or sci-fi, we've got you covered. Discover exclusive interviews, epic debates, and insider tips from your favorite creators. Join the adventure, Crossing the Nerdverse, and unleash your inner nerd. Embrace the passion, celebrate the culture. Crossing the Nerdverse, where every fan finds their place. And lastly, check out our merch store where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, desk mats, other items with our logo on, our Supernatural-inspired waffle-on design, or our Moves Like Atlas design. If you want to support us more directly, you can head to our Ko-fi page and make a one-time donation, or subscribe to our $3 a month tier, which will give you exclusive Discord access, mention in our credits, and weekly maps that are from my own personal collection that I'm just throwing in for the cause. And as always, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button and telling your friends about us.
Speaking of which, did anybody even realize we hit 100 subscribers?
No, I did, but I didn't make a big deal out of it.
Dude, that's a big deal. That's like 3 digits. We have 100 subscribers. So thank you, subscribers.
That was very trendy of you then. It was like 3 digits. Yeah, it was
trendy?
like...
Do you know what that word means?
That was... That was it. That was like your TikTok vibe, wasn't it? That was it. That was TikTok Atlas then.
No, I think that's super exciting. Like 100 subscribers. Thank you. 100 every single one of you matters and counts. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, so we do
That's actually
appreciate
big.
it.
Yeah.
While I'm laughing at Atlas, but we do appreciate it
Listen,
massively.
if people aren't laughing at me, then there's something gone horribly wrong.
I mean, to be fair, laughing at you takes priorities.
Yeah, it's easy. Like,
Yeah.
I try to make it easy.
But yeah, 100 subscribers, and just to think that we started at nothing. Justin and I started this, and it was like nobody's gonna fucking listen to this bullshit.
Surprise!
And surprise, here we fucking go. Stefan, he's just missed his own ad. He's in the chat.
I know. It was like summoning him. Did somebody say Stefan 3 times? Like Stefan.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking Beastie, and all of a sudden, there he is. The tank top appears.
The tank top appears.
The tank top appears. He's got the glow.
He's got the glow. It's time to go.
Oh, God, yeah, that t-shirt needs to happen.
That t-shirt needs to happen. I actually have 3 of the team t-shirts designed for inmates.
Who have you got?
Me, Stefan, and Cypher.
Nice.
I was struggling with Liberator, to be completely honest, because like I didn't have an image on it, but I've got it. I've got the coolest, like, unless you want to say no, but it's I got this cool like design of these chains like breaking in half because the name Liberator. I was like,
I've had the exact same fucking idea. My Liberator design is a shield breaking some chains.
Very cool. Very cool.
There's other imagery that I want to add as well. And something funky I want to do with the lettering. But the basic idea is going to be a shield breaking some chains.
Tell you what, how about you design your Liberator shirt and I'll design the rest of them?
Yeah, just as soon as I fucking get on with it. I mean, I've been looking at these game jams and hopefully I've got time to do them as well.
Listen, I'm doing a character sheet for Craig's game, and to be completely honest, I'm kind of cheating because I'm supposed to be playing in his game in 2 weekends.
29.
Yeah. So I'm
29.
super excited about that. Get to play Shadowlight finally, but I'm also going to be using my own character sheet. So
that's absolutely fine.
That's my deadline. Is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish the game jam sheet for that.
I've got a thematic thing for his game. I've got something in mind. I just need to actually make it happen. So I think once that starts moving, it should be rather quick because I think I've got most things sort of ironed out, and I want to do something with this system that nobody's gonna fucking expect. So that's the idea. So that's the idea. And then with RP Songs and Sagas, I've got an idea. And it's going to be more just a flavor of Songs and Sagas as opposed to like a system redesign. I won't say redesign, or a system change. So basically it's going to be, just visiting the little goth boy inside and basically putting a darker spin on things, but it's doing the work and getting everything.
I visited little baby punk Atlas over the weekend, and I watched The Crow. And it's the first movie that I've watched in a long time where like little Atlas was going, yeah, and big Atlas was going, what the fuck? Like I was so conflicted watching that movie, but like it was entertaining. I will end it on that note. It was entertaining. So,
I mean, I think I said this to you yesterday, and I still go by it. And as much as I love the original movie, I'm a fan of the original movie. I hold it dear to my heart.
Yeah.
It was not a good movie.
It was not a good.
It wasn't a good movie. I love it. I love everything about it. I adore it. But, unlike D&D players, I can recognize when something I love is bad.
It's just a blanket statement. Not all D&D characters don't realize that.
When something I can go, I love this. Yeah. I do. I adore it, and I will watch it every chance I get. But every time I watch it, it's like, oh, this is rough. This is bad.
Like the only genuinely bad thing I had to say about the new movie was it was like, why did it take you an hour and a half to get anything done? Like, it was just like, okay, just fast forward the last 30, 40 minutes of the movie and you'll watch the Crow movie. Like, honestly.
I mean, a lot of movies, especially the nostalgia trend that's happening.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that. they do a lot of, okay, we're going to just hammer out the nostalgia. We're going to give you all this. And then the actual meat of the movie only happens in the last X amount of time. It kind of happened a tiny bit with the new Beetlejuice. The story was there, but everything got rushed towards the end.
Yeah, no, the ending was so like that. To be completely honest, I didn't pay attention during the movie whatsoever. The only time I paid attention to that screen is when Monica was on screen. For being completely honest.
I mean, we're fans of Monica. What can we say?
Oh, God.
We do like a bit of Monica.
A lot of Monica. Like, that movie could have done a lot more Monica. It would be like, all my friends are laughing, like, like, yeah, I'm entertained. This is an entertaining movie. It's a good movie.
That's
and then she'd come on screen. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is the best movie ever. Like, no, I'm.
Nah, yeah.
I'm
inclined to agree. But yeah, it was an okay movie. I can't fault it in any way, shape, or form.
To do actually with my entertainment, with my media, not just movies, but with my games too, is that like I am trying to stop analyzing. That is something that I don't know when it started. I don't know if it was in college because I was like literally trained to dissect art forms and like figure out how it was done and what makes it good, what makes it bad. But I'm trying to stop that. I'm trying to like enjoy something without over analyzing it, without butchering it to pieces and being like, well, this was good, this was bad, this was good. This was just be like, it was an entertaining movie. End of story. Like I can play a game and be like, that was an entertaining game. I might hate the system and I might never want to play that again. Like I can take the enjoyment from it, or I can just simply be like, yeah, it's not my jam. Move on. Like I'm trying to just kind of be more present in the now and be more present in life and be in the moment. Be in the moment.
I mean, I will happily dissect something, but that doesn't necessarily stop my enjoyment.
Yeah, I've just been doing it too long. Like,
I don't equate my appreciation of something to the quality of it. I can thoroughly enjoy something bad.
Speaking of enjoying something bad, a really good question just came up in chat. What movie setting would you want to play a ttrpg of? Like, would you play in a Beetlejuice game? Holy shit.
I think just because we've already mentioned it and you've already started, let's kind of go on the Beetlejuice thing. Yeah, I mean, a Beetlejuice game would be kind of good. But
yeah, that world concept would be fun.
My problem with property games, is that I automatically go back to the property itself.
Oh.
And I find it hard. I wouldn't be able to like play, I'd struggle to play something like a Star Wars game without immediately trying to replicate my favorite Star Wars character, for example. I always struggle a tiny bit with that. But in spirit of the question, I think a move. I'm gonna have to. You have to get back to me. I'll see if
not because my name's in it. Not because my name's in it. Have you ever watched Cloud Atlas?
I don't believe I have.
It is trippy as fuck. It's so good. It's so good. I would absolutely play a game. I play a game in Beetlejuice, by the way. And yes, I would play in the Alien game or the Discworld game. I'm seeing all these games get listed in chat. But I would love to play in Cloud Atlas setting because it's multi-genre, it's multi-timeline, it's sci-fi, it's so fucking trippy. I love the idea, like what they did with that movie is they had multiple actors play different races, roles, genders, characters throughout the timeline. And I love that idea of like reincarnating a character. Not saying like, oh, this is the same character, but like, yeah, Rebel Moon. I would play in Rebel Moon. Not that storyline because it sucks. And I'm not even get started on the directing the universe.
The game that never happened.
The game that never happened. Was there supposed to be a game?
There was supposed to be a Rebel Moon game, and it got nixed. So Evil Hat, I think it was. I think they were the ones producing it. They took Netflix to court.
Shit.
There was meant to be a Rebel Moon game. It was supposed to be a massive tie-in franchise where there was these two movies, there was a TV show, there was also a game. And
I did not know any of that.
The end, it was. We covered it in the show. Like Jesus,
that may have been before me though.
Beginning of the year, sort of thing. And so Evil Hat, I think they've had some issues where they're not the most popular nowadays. But when they were doing the Rebel Moon stuff, they sued Netflix.
What was it going to be?
Connell, sorry, just quickly, Connell in the chat has asked if I would play in an Alien game. That I would play because I don't watch Aliens for Sigourney Weaver. So, gonna
I
Weaver,
do.
sorry.
I do.
I watch
Am I only
Aliens for the fucking aliens. Kill that bitch. Who cares?
did you watch the new movie?
No, not yet.
Fucking hell. Like, the whole movie is like, it's nostalgic. You're sitting there going like, oh, this is nice. It's literally what we just talked about, right? Although the best character is the guy whose name is completely spacing on me. It's the AI, the android, best character. But no, the last 10 minutes of Alien, like I was actually in the theater with Connell and some friends, and like I'm sitting there and everything's fine. And I've got like, I've got very tall Brian on this side, very tall Connell on this side. I'm sitting there like, this is nice. And then the last 10 seconds of the movie, I literally did this number in my chair where I just shrunk down. And I was like, no. Last 10 minutes of the last Alien movie is a hell no from me. Nope.
But to kind of go back to Connell's original question, I've got an answer.
Mhm.
Because I think this would be amazing. An RPG, right? Based on the Lego movie.
No.
Just the amount of shit you could do. RPG based on the Lego movie.
This is okay. See, this is my disconnect. I think I can't play something unless it's pretty. I know it's super basic, but like I can't get into Roblox because it's just blocks. I
get that, you know, but like Lego isn't
I do
purely a
like the
video
Lego
game,
movies
right?
though. To be honest, I do like the Lego movies.
And the Lego movies, they cover like so many different genres all mixed into one. And you'd probably add
That's
a
fair.
mechanic to do a build. You know, you'd have a build mechanic, which I have no idea how to go about that, but it would be fucking fun.
I would try that game. I would try it. I'm not gonna say I'd hate it right about the bat, but I would try it.
I think it'd be a fun game. And it's one of these that you could just play any setting. You want to play in Star Wars?
Yeah, and I think
that
would be like a fuck yes couch Top Gun. Yes. Yep, Top Gun. But I wanted to be a fighter pilot when I was a kid. Anyways, I think it'd be fun. The Lego game concept would be fun, but like for me, I don't think I could do a full campaign. I could do like maybe a 2-3 session, but like after a while I think it'd be kind of like I don't know. That could be my lack of imagination though. Like I will call myself out. Like I don't
I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have to be done by someone who really, really was very much into very intricate game design. Because they would have to carry a lot.
And very flamboyantly lively. Like you couldn't have a serious storyline with. I mean, like not like you couldn't have like this Lego movies had serious storylines in them, but you get what I'm saying. Like it couldn't be.
Yeah, but I mean that's down to the GM. I'm talking about the system. You need something that gave you the versatility to kind of go, right, I want to build a tank and allow for them.
And you use the D6s to build.
Yeah, Connell just added that in the chat for our listeners. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. They won't fucking believe that.
Not even slightly. No. What? Atlas coming up with dice ideas and numbers? The world has frozen over, or hell has frozen over.
But I like this question. I do like this question. I'm trying to think of another.
Thinking about that for the rest of the night, to be honest.
You know, because I don't want to do something that could be replicated by an existing system. Because, you know, if I like stuff like The Lost Boys, you know, you could always kind of do that with World of Darkness or something along those lines. Yeah. What, with Vampire the Masquerade?
The only reason I'm saying this is, my tongue.
That is going to be a clip.
Yeah. The only reason I'm saying that is that, so the only reason I haven't played Vampire the Masquerade is because literally I keep being told our table can't do it. Like, it's too political, it's too serious, it's too whatever. Every time I watch someone play Vampire the Masquerade, like I'll watch actual plays, it's a lot of people talking. It's a lot of like diplomatic, political, like, hey, whatever. That wasn't Lost Boys. To me, I remember like Lost Boys was so gritty and action packed. And it was, yes, there's a politics of like getting stuff done, but like I don't know if someone could actually pull off a good Lost Boys game using Vampire the Masquerade because they seem to be two very different creatures. Especially like I've talked to Connell about it, I've talked to Stefan about it, I've talked to people on threads about it, and I'm going, I don't know if it would have the same vibe and pull it off well. Like, yeah, it's a vampire system. Of course you could use it for that, but would it do it well? I don't know.
Well, for our listeners in the chat, Connell, our resident World of Darkness expert, has just put, yes, without a doubt. So I'm going to kind of lean on him. I'm just going to go, You know.
You know what? You can lean on him all you want, but he's the one that says that we can't do it. So that's supposed to be cool. My tongue, guys. Like, I actually bit it. Look.
I think it's amazing. That's the best things that happened to me today.
Am I hungry?
I'm just gonna chew my own face.
You know.
I mean, that is fantastic. So I think to be honest, I think we've answered quite a few questions. Now I think we have answered that question, and I do believe that Atlas may need to recover her tongue. So what we'll do is we'll probably end this episode here, because if not, Atlas will chew her through her own face, and that's not good for streaming, guys.
No.
But
not this kind of stream.
Want to give a big shout out to everyone in the chat who's come to join us today. It was absolutely wonderful catching up with you guys. For the listeners, for the people who aren't watching this, Atlas is currently sticking out her tongue. She's currently sticking out her tongue.
She wouldn't see it. I don't want to like get all up in the camera with my tongue. Like, people got to pay for that.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are listening to this on the podcast a couple of days later, you are missing out Atlas's tongue. It's an experience. That's just all I want to say about that.
Kind of vampire. I'm from the strain, it's like black.
Yeah. But thanks to everyone in the chat for keeping us company. Thank you to you, Atlas, for A, biting your tongue, and B, keeping me company. So do you want to just tell people whereabouts on the World Wide Web they can find you?
Yeah. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram and Threads. That's really all I'm at. Like, I try to keep it simple, but I'm at Atlas Ursa, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear.
As for me, you can find me at naturaljuan@dice.com, over on Mastodon, natural.juan on Threads, which is where I'm most active. If you want to just come and hang out and just talk shit with me, feel free. I'm also behind all our social media presences on Blue Sky, on Instagram, Facebook. If you want to catch up with everything we do, go to toolegit2crit.uk or send us a question at questions@toolegit2crit.uk. All right. So if you like what we do and you want to see more, give us a like, rating, subscribe, tell your friends about us. You can even subscribe and, just help us kind of pay the bills. But most importantly of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken time out of their busy day to listen to two idiots waffling about tabletop role-playing games and bite our own tongues. Thank you very much. Good night.